It's going to be a long day through all of these things. So, I'm from Pocahontas County. I grew up here, graduated from Pocahontas County High School. I went to Harvard. Took me a long time to own that and claim that and be really proud of that, and I am now. I'm the executive director of the High Rocks Educational Corporation, which has started from nothing 17 years ago and has grown into a $700,000 a year business and employs 40 people. It's pretty remarkable.
How many people?
17 years. 40.
$700,000 a year and 40 people, 40 employees.
A lot of those are AmeriCorps volunteers or people who are coming, interns, college students who are working in the summer. They're not 40 full-time jobs, but they're real opportunity. I live on the farm that my husband grew up on Summer Creek, and we raise free-range beef and pork and lamb, and our little kids have eggs. And we are vendors at the farmer's market, and there's meat, not just lettuce at the farmer's market, David Fleming. So I feel like I've spent so far, in my life, trying to build better solutions to things here in Pocahontas County. So not just talking about what we should do, but actually with my own life and my house and my work and the organizations that I work for, trying to build solutions that are actually working. And I think I've had a lot of success with that. I think from the perspective of being an executive director of a nonprofit, it's not elected service, but I definitely view it as public service. And you answer to a lot of people, and you're responsible for other people's money and for taking care of that and being as thrifty and as strategic as you can with how you do that and how you invest other people's money, which is exactly the same thing that the county commission does, with the tax-based money. I'm an expert grant writer. I hire and fire people all the time. I manage projects. I have worked a lot on in partnerships and building partnerships between organizations, both within Pocahontas County, in the state of West Virginia, and across the Appalachian region. I'm really excited about what the future looks like, and I like to talk about that, and I like to think about that, and I like to see it actually come true. So, the list of questions, do I remember the whole list? Maybe. Would I run for county commission again? I am about to, in the next 2 months, hire a development manager and a community outreach coordinator, and if either one of those people show up for that job interview and say, I'm only interested in this job for a year and a half, that's just too hard for High Rocks. Turnover is too expensive, And so, maybe, I would be awful at it. I really think that I am very competent and very able to serve successfully as a commissioner, and I would walk into it with the expectation that I would run again. I might lose, but, life is life. Sometimes things happen that are catastrophic, but I think that providing continuity on the county commission is going to be really important in a couple of years, especially if David's not reelected and Jamie's the only person who's sitting there, and you potentially have 2 people that have 0 commission experience. From an organizational development perspective, that is really hard to keep making forward progress. So, in terms of what I see as the issues facing Pocahontas County, I work in a world of young people, and really trying to work with young people and empower young people to find solutions to things. And that takes you through all the different layers of families and all the things that affect families. And we have to be able to make decisions and make forward progress in the immediate future while looking to the long-term future all of the time. And so I think a major issue for Pocahontas County is, as we walk through all these different issues that face the community, how to balance with both of those things at the same time and both of those priorities in terms of the way that we approach, except for the mailbox issue. Take care of that. Move it down the road.
Come back. Okay, so thank you for that number 5 about the would you run again, or would you run? Number 1, well, since you are the executive director of High Rocks, speak a little more to how you see yourself and how much time you see being able to devote to this and how you would manage that for both endeavors.
Well, before I submitted my letter, I met with 5 of my key people that are in key leadership positions in jobs within High Rocks. And I spoke with my board president too, because I have invested so much of my life and time and energy in trying to build something that's really good and really healthy and really strong in High Rocks, that's not something that I would want to have High Rocks have to take the fall for. However, every single one of those people gave me a full endorsement and said, we're fine here. We know how to do our jobs. You can spend some time somewhere else. I've also spent the last 3 years traveling a lot, building a statewide farm-to-school pilot. We have one farm-to-school member in Pocahontas County, one in Greenbrier County, and in 7 other counties across the state that's all run through High Rocks. So that program hopefully is going to transition to the State Department of Education this year, that pilot, and go even further with it. So I won't need to travel as much for that. I've also been traveling a lot to build a new network called the Appalachian Emerging Leaders Network, which deals directly with economic development issues and jobs issues, and trying to figure out how we reconcile the fact that I know a whole lot of really talented young people that really want to live here. Yeah. And I know a whole lot of employers who can't find anybody good to hire and retain. Right. So there's a disconnect that is real fundamental that we have to work and build infrastructure, but also we all have to buy into as part of, and say what we're going to do as part of our work is invest in the people that we work with so that they can continue to be those, Am I scared about finding a really awesome development manager for High Rocks? Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's impossible, but I would like to get to a point where for all of the businesses and all of the nonprofits that we have an awesome, not just people, but people with experience and the job skills and the performance behind them that you can bank on. They're right here. Yeah. It'd be cool.
I just want to talk about High Rocks for a moment. The commission has been supportive of High Rocks for a long time, and it's a valuable organization to the county. As a person of my age who's sort of transitioning from the youngest generation into the older generation, not old yet, I understand that, still a young whippersnapper. But I see High Rocks as very important for helping build our youth community and empowering our youth with educational opportunities, with opportunities focused on what Pocahontas County can offer. The AmeriCorps program, the VISTA program, you've used a lot of those resources. It's been wonderful. Pocahontas County has been the beneficiary of, has benefited so much from both those programs, and so much of that effort has come through High Rocks. One concern we have with the sequester is the cut to the AmeriCorps program and the lack of opportunities for vistas for Pocahontas County. We've gotten to watch so much get built up from the ground here in Pocahontas County, community efforts through the VISTA work, and I just want to say thank you to you and to High Rocks for what you've done for our county.
I will also say, I appreciate that, and I will also say that the VISTA application process and the AmeriCorps Direct Service application process, they're two different things, and so that's, Pocahontas Communications Cooperative has run that VISTA project for a long time, and that's been really wonderful, and one of the reasons that High Rocks went ahead with the AmeriCorps program was so that we could use both of those programs. Good. So I am happy to report that the High Rocks application is through as far as it can go so far. So we were asked for clarification changes, and they still like us a lot and think we have a really good project. So I think long term that's going to continue to be a way to bring in other partner organizations through that. Whether it's wherever it is, we just have to figure out where all the things are and figure out the best way to get there. If that's through a nonprofit umbrella, then it's through a nonprofit umbrella. If it's through a policy change, then it's through a policy change. Okay.
Thank you. Second question, Sarah, describe briefly your awareness of some of the issues currently facing the commission. I'm not asking for position statements, but your awareness.
Yeah. Well, we definitely, as a county, are dealing with NRAO. We're going to have to deal with the federal money for the schools that comes from that again. It's going to have a massive effect. I think we still are really facing education issues. When you're talking about 10,000 people, you have to have schools that people are excited to send their kids to. And we have a lot of really good teachers, and we have some disconnects that I think that we can be creative about how we can partner as communities with our schools in a way that we haven't mastered yet, I think, as a community. I think that people are really spending a lot of time talking about the National Monument at soccer games and in gas stations, and I think that's something that's really on people's minds.
Okay.
And, you know, I mean, we may not be talking about it today, but there's no way that we can say that prescription drug abuse is not a major, major problem that the Commission needs to be dealing with. And there aren't any good answers for that, and it's heartbreaking, and nobody wants to deal with it, but we just have to do something.
Yes, it's an
It's
increasing
something,
problem.
it may be a losing battle, that doesn't mean we don't have to keep fighting it.
Yeah. The Sheriff's Department works very hard on that. They put themselves in danger routinely. And for my part, I fear that that danger is escalating. We work as a community, as a commission, with law enforcement, all of us together.
And then I also, you know, I see that danger come so much through kids too, and little kids, and elementary school kids, and thinking about what they're dealing with, and middle school kids. My husband's a principal of middle school, and high school kids, and there are many different ways that we need to be addressing it.
Thank you. Sorry. Pam, did I ask you about what are your thoughts on appointing commissioners that reflects Dolan's legacy? I didn't, did I? I'm going to come back to you on that. Sarah, it's your question this morning. I think it's appropriate that we appoint a commissioner who best reflects Dolan's legacy, qualities, and values. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's what you should be doing. I think that, you know, there are definitely issues that Dolan and I didn't see eye to eye on. I don't think anybody in this room would be surprised to hear that. I mean, but at the same time, I think that there are a lot of things about Dolan and I that are the same. Dolan was really smart, and Dolan was a visionary, and he really could see a big picture and break that down into pieces in a way that that's a certain kind of a person. And I believe I'm that kind of a person. Yeah. And I think that I am really diligent, and I know I'm hardworking, and I know that Dolan is somebody who got things done, and I'm somebody who gets things done. So, I mean, as my board president said when I talked to him about submitting my letter, he said, Sarah, like, you get done 120% of anybody else I know, and 100%. I'm not worried about it. You'll be fine. And I think you could say that about Dolan too. Yeah.
Thank you. You've spoken a bit already to the goal of 10,000 people. How we could achieve that? Or do you feel that's important as a goal? Should we try to achieve this? What are your thoughts on how we can do it? If you would just go over that again.
How long can I talk for? No, I'll be brief. Yes, I think 10,000 is absolutely a goal. And I think that, although Linda's point is well taken, that you have to have a strategy that incrementally gets there, 10,000 is substantially different. And there is no way that we're going to get to 10,000 people without being able to have a video conference, which I cannot do from my office without losing the call half the time, and the audio goes out. I mean, our best way to get to 10,000 people is to develop the people that are here, to work with kids to make sure that they have opportunities to be here, to work with entrepreneurs and small business owners when they're trying to start their businesses, like Nimble, to make sure that you can't do that without community support. And you really can't get to 10,000 people without high-speed internet.
Thank you. That's what I want to hear.
You just can't. Not with quality of life.
Yes. And you've already answered the question about would you see yourself running subdivision 14? I think that's all I have. Is there anything? Pam, I apologize for missing you on question number 3. And that is, I feel it's appropriate for us to appoint a commissioner who best reflects Dolan's legacy, qualities, and values. What are your thoughts on this?
I agree with that, and Dolan was never my teacher, but he did teach me a lot. The renting of our farm, he took care of it, and the way he took care of his job as assessor, and the way he would have taken care of this other district in this office, and that's what I